here. I'll open this. Just mainly what I'll be looking at. And I'll click here. Alrighty, here we are. Hello everybody. I am recording there and here, so you will see me looking both ways kind of thing. We're just here to talk about the new moon in Leo that is tomorrow, July 24th at 1:11 approximately a.m. It's gonna be really early. Hello everybody. I'm gonna be looking there and here, so feel free to throw questions over here in the Instagram. I'll make sure I'm looking at it. So yeah, we have this upcoming new moon in Leo. We're already in Leo season, and we have Mercury retrograde in Leo right now. And one of the things that I find the most fascinating about this new moon in particular is that it's happening right now in the middle of summer 2025, when we are, in this incipient new energy of what will be developing in the next several years with all of the new planets in new places. Pluto in Aquarius is, just getting started in Aquarius. That's a whole 2 decades transit that we are just starting. Hello, hola. And that is associated with a new energy that we have already strongly started to feel. Aquarius is the sign of objectivity, is the sign of knowledge. Many of you might have noticed that the Aquarius symbol has this little waves, and that has always been associated with the water bear. Well, it's not a water sign actually, it's an air sign. It's actually the last air sign of the 3. It's quite at the end of the zodiac wheel. This is the 11th sign of the zodiac. So what Aquarius represents is actually the peak of everything that is mental in our human development, in our humanity, the archetypes of humanity. It's the peak of the mental capabilities of humanity, and that has to do with knowledge. And Aquarius is a symbolic of collective energy, of the group, of the tribe, And in that sense, what we are seeing today is a very clear expression of the power, Pluto, that can be found when humanity has reached these immense advancements when it comes to knowledge. And this is neither a good thing or a bad thing. It just simply is right now. Aquarius is all about finding the better ways to do things. That is what technology is, ultimately. Technology is the quest for making our lives easier, doing things faster, better. Aquarius is always thinking forward and at the edge of what we know, and seeking to find something that ultimately allows for greater freedom for us. And I know it's a new one in Leo, but the thing is, Leo is opposed Aquarius. It's the other end of it. It's right on the other side. It's facing Aquarius. So what happens in this new moon that is tomorrow is that Pluto is looking at the new moon directly in the eyes. It's exactly opposed it. So I am going to pull it up here in my recording that I have on the screen. We can look at the exact. You'll be able to find this on YouTube once I have found my way through the maze. Okay, wait, this is 1:11. That's approximately the time. Oh, and it's PM, not AM. Apologies. So yeah, the new moon is exactly at 2 degrees of Leo, and Pluto is at 2 degrees of Aquarius. So that's what we call an opposition. And so what is Leo on the other side? Leo has to do with the opposite of that very cold, very objective, very removed And which is, it's necessary to have that perspective, that Aquarian perspective of, in order to be objective, in order to actually gather proof of theory and turn it into knowledge and turn it into technology and whatever, or in order to really be inclusive of all different points of view, you do have to be a bit cold. You do have to be a bit removed, right? We do need to be dispassionate about things. And that's the Aquarius archetype. But Leo is the opposite of that. Leo is the total opposite of that. It's all the passion. It's all the fire. It's all the heart. Leo is the heart. It is the heart center. Everything that lives in our heart. And that's a really large concept. We can see it as love. We can see it as passion. We can see it as joy and fun and spontaneity, and also the season that we are in the Northern Hemisphere, which is where astrology was developed. So I am from the South, but astrology, Western astrology, and I guess all forms of astrology that are most known today were developed in the Northern Hemisphere. So Leo is associated with the summer. It's this time of year where we are, the sun is at its peak. It's the perfect time to, go out there and enjoy nature and have fun, play, long evenings, late sunsets, bonfires, all of that. And bonfire itself is a really Leo concept, because Leo is a fire that is stable, that stays, that is constant. It's not like a sudden spark. It's not something that starts and goes away immediately. That would be more of an Aries kind of fire. The Leo fire is constant, is steady. It continues to come back. And because Leo is a fixed sign, right? Fixed energy is stable, or wants to be stable. And the Leo in us, even if we don't have Leo in our charts, even if we don't have anything in Leo will still be a part of your chart. Leo will still be somewhere in your chart, in your astrology chart. And this is something that you can figure out if you calculate your chart. And in my last blog post, I put there, like, according to your rising sign, if you know your rising sign, you can easily check the table there and see what area of your life is Leo. So you know what area of your life is getting this seed planted in, which is a new moon. A new moon is a seed. And like I've mentioned before, new moons will new moon regardless. Everything will be happening in the cosmos, whether you are aware of that or not. But if you can intentionally tap into this, which is why we're interested in astrology, right? Which is why I'm assuming that you're here and paying attention to this information. The energy of this new moon is challenging us to face a lot of what can feel like the fears. One of the most obvious ways that the fear represented by Pluto in Aquarius, Pluto is fear. It lives in our subconscious. It is the subconscious layer of humanity. And that's why its processes are so long and its processes are kind of subtle. But in a moment like this, when we have a new moon that is directly opposed Pluto, then Pluto has a chance to really shine through, right? Has like a chance to peak and speak to us more directly, sort of, to put it some way. Whereas, it's a 20-year transit. It's going to last all the way to 2043. So we're just in the beginnings of it. But anyway, I digress. One of the ways that Pluto in Aquarius energy shows up is the most obvious one that I wrote a lot about it in the last blog post. It's the immense power that we see in the hands of tech, like big tech. It's wild. It's crazy how this unfolded, and it has been developing for years, but right now it's crazy, right? Like I don't even need to get too much into it. It's AI and all its reaches and all the ways that that is changing and will continue to be changing the fabric of everything in our society. And whether we like it or not, is kind of here to stay. And that is technology, the power of technology, Pluto and Aquarius. The power, the amount of investment that is there as well. Pluto and Aquarius, it's also power. Money is power, right? The power of also the what's it called? The blockchain technology. So like blockchain, AI, these are new things that are here to stay, right? And yeah, it's wild how that is changing everything, and we'll see it develop in the next 20 years. But another way that we can think of it in a much more personal way is the concept of Aquarius being representing freedom. So when we compare the Leo archetype of passion, heart-centered energy, the inner child, playfulness, expression, creative expression, spontaneous playfulness and joy and passion, and the generousness of Leo, and the uplifting energy of Leo, the sunshine energy of Leo. One of the ways that our inner Leo energy, like I said, whether you have Leo or not in your chart, that does not really matter. You do have Leo in your chart. Even if you don't have any planets, you do have Leo somewhere. Like, we all have a heart. So I don't know. It's obviously somewhere. It just depends on your rising sign to know exactly where that is for you. But sometimes, and I see this a lot when I do readings with people, and it's like, a lot of the times the Leo energy will be wounded, will be afraid to shine, or will be shy, or will be like not really like want the attention but not wanted, be afraid of like the rejection, because it's like such a big deal for Leo to like the artist archetype. Like, the artist will get on stage in front of so many people, and they seem like they are like totally fine doing this, but it's actually such a big deal. You're being very vulnerable on stage. You're being very vulnerable, showing yourself and expressing yourself, and you're basically exposing your heart openly, right? And that can feel very scary. So we might have a Leo energy that is scared to show up. Okay. Now, what happens there is that, where is that fear coming from? Like, what is that fear really? Is there a fear of, yes, the response, the rejection, or the feedback, etc.? But what is that really attacking? Is it attacking you in any way, or is it hurting you really in any way? When we really, really put Leo and Aquarius together, we can notice that they help each other. They support each other. So what Aquarius tells Leo, the Leo that is scared to show themselves, that is afraid of the exposure, Aquarius tells that Leo to not really give an F, to just like, who cares? That's what Aquarius is. That's the Aquarius medicine to that Leo. So the part of us that is afraid is actually a more superficial layer of us. It has to do more with how we want to be perceived, how we want to be seen. And a lot of the expression from the heart actually needs to be much more unfiltered than that. That filter, or that layer, that barrier that is afraid, is what many would call ego, right? I don't have like necessarily a bad concept around I think we need an ego, and it's fine. We just have to realize that it's it's just another layer of us. It's not like our truth or our deepest part. It's okay to like, you know, it's okay if somebody doesn't like what you said, or it's okay if like you were ridiculous or you made a mistake, or it's fine. It's fine. That's what Aquarius tells Leo. So yes, there's this whole like the tech aspect of it that I think is really like collectively calling us to connect to what are we here to express from our hearts. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a creative, artistic, as in like musician, painter, writer, established like category of artist. But I think that humanity as a whole, we are all creators. So no matter what that is, this new moon can be the seed that is planted for your specific creation, your specific way of sharing your heart, while at the same time it can be feeling really challenging because of the fear of being ridiculous or the fear of being rejected. And that is a beautiful invitation that Pluto is doing, along with Chiron, because Chiron is also involved in this situation, in this new moon energy. Chiron is challenging the new moon and Pluto, and there's this situation going on between all of them. And so both of them are saying, hey, relax. Allow yourself to shed that layer. Maybe this is the moment to imperfectly, ridiculously maybe, or just like stumbling on it, but still doing it. Because why? Because it matters. Like, it matters. It is important, especially now that our hearts shine in the world. Especially now. Like, I don't know if you connect to this. Like, it's true, AI is just a tool, but how are we going to direct this? How are we going to, send it in the right direction if we don't express our most human element, which is our heart? If we don't share, if we don't speak, if we don't create and share that, so that machine learns from us. Like another thing that I wrote in my last blog post was about that. Just that it like the information that this huge machine has now is old. It's old information. So humanity today cannot just like let that old information continue to direct or do everything for us. We have to continue to feed it. And I feel like there's no more important time than now for us to do that. And there's so many reasons why this can feel challenging to each and every one of us. So I think that that's the main thing about this new moon, is this invitation to connect to what is the truth in you. What is the truth of your heart? What does it want to say? What does it want to do? What matters most to you? And the heart also speaks physically. So physically, we can feel like an excitement. We can feel like our heart bumping or jumping when something really matters to us, when something really excites us. And like, I am especially passionate about this topic and that's why it's creative astrology and it's not just like anything else astrology. It's because in my personal journey, the part of healing my voice and healing my inner child and allowing myself to follow my passions and write songs, and like improvise and rap, and I do all these things because it's what healed me. It's what's healed me and literally saved my life. Like I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. If I hadn't found my way through my fears and my insecurities and like just be okay with being imperfect, being okay with, And to be honest, we're so scared of that perfectionism element is very present in this moment and in this new moon right now. We have the south node with Mars and Virgo. That energy basically is saying, we are being asked, if you want, by the universe, or the cosmic energies right now are really calling us to drop the perfectionism and get more into action. Even though, yes, there's a lot of retrograde energy right now, and even more so, that's why even more reasons to be okay with things not being entirely perfect, and being open to pivoting, being open to like, okay, this plan didn't work, we'll just like continue down this other route, just like a river that is like, all right, we'll just find the way through the rocks and the branches, the going with the flow is a huge lesson this year. Like, it's overarching. This has to do with the eclipse points that are Virgo and Pisces, and you might not hear this all the time in like astrology posts and stuff, because it's like a thing that's going on throughout the year. It's where the eclipses are happening later on this year. They started in March. The next season of eclipses is September. And we'll have it in Virgo season, right? It's going to be in Virgo and in Pisces. Okay, we're back. So yes, I would love to know if any of you have any questions. Please feel free to drop them there in the Instagram live. I'm looking this way because I'm recording three things actually at the same time. Yes. Another important thing about this moment and this specific new moon in Leo is that, something I mentioned earlier, the presence of all these planets in new signs. Like, this is like a signature of 2025. We have Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn and Neptune, both early in Aries. That is huge, guys. It's like, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Saturn hasn't been there in Aries for about 30 years. And Neptune, I'm forgetting exactly, but it's like 150 years or something. I have it somewhere here in my notes, but yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And the reason this is so important is that Aries, as the first sign of the zodiac, represents the beginning of the cycle, literally. Everything starts in spring. It's the springtime is the start of life. I'm trying to find it. I don't know. I think it's 150-ish years or something like that. Anyways, I won't stress about it. Just allow things to be imperfect. So those new beginnings. And then the other planet, the last one that was about to enter a new sign this year, was Uranus. It also just did. It's early in Gemini. So we have Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Gemini. And these are all the outer planets that take years to go through the zodiac. The fastest of these is Saturn, which, like I said, hasn't been in Aries for about 30 years. So yes, the picture we have right now, the scenario, the planetary scenario that we have right now is completely new, and is starting a cycle of, for Saturn is 3 years, for Uranus is 7 to 8 years, for Neptune is about 13, 14 years. All the rest of the planets, well, except for Chiron, but Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Venus, they move a lot faster, so that it's not such a like Jupiter changes signs every year, but Jupiter also just changed signs. So the situation right now is very new. And so we can think of this as the early stages of what will be developing. It's like a trailer. Like, we're in the trailer of the movie of what we'll be developing all the way into, we can say, the early 2030s. But it's actually a bit more than that. So if it feels for you, and with this I'll start to close here, if it feels for you that there is like something emerging, bubbling, a new idea, a new concept, new connections, a calling, a hunch, like something that is, appearing, but you feel all of this uncertainty, confusion, lack of clarity, perhaps imposter syndrome, insecurity themes, which is what I talked a little bit about Chiron and Pluto kind of playing there with our ego and our woundedness and our insecurity, the South Node in Virgo and all that. It makes sense. Just like, don't let go. I think that's probably my biggest piece of advice. Things as they are now are budding. They are just the early, small, tiny little buds. They have not developed yet. They will develop in the next several years. And the summer of 2025 for the North Hemisphere, summer of 2025, this new moon is really inviting us to connect to that, to embrace it, to, if you have never talked to your inner child, if you have never, and if you have another conversation. What are we doing? What do you really want? What really moves you? Have an adult to child inner conversation and see what your inner child wants. See what your inner child really wants. And it might take some time. Like, it might take some years to develop, to get there, to really build something solid, to like really bring that idea or that hunch or that feeling or that budding situation into a more solid shape. Yes, indeed. But throughout this whole process, I think that's the most important thing that I can say is don't let it go. Like, don't let go of the hand of your inner child. Don't let go of what you are feeling in your heart that matters most. And don't get distracted. Remember that we are being in this context of this lesson of learning to trust the river, to trust the flow. Is that North Node in Pisces invitation and that Neptune being so close to Saturn right now. It's, yes, things might seem really confusing and you might feel that there's all these setbacks and confusion and things not looking entirely clear or having to pivot or having to adapt, especially right now with Mercury retrograde. Plus all the other Saturn and Neptune are also retrograde and Pluto is also retrograde. So yes, nothing will be entirely perfect or go exactly as we plan, but don't let go of that vision. Don't let go of what you know from your heart. You know what I mean? Does this make sense to you guys? If anybody's here in the live, I would love to see your thoughts. Because I'm about to close here. So if there's any thoughts, any comments or questions that you would like to do, this is the moment. Yeah. So I hope this has been helpful. I'm about to close this. We're almost getting to the 30-minute mark. I don't want to get too extensive with this. Just a little announcement for anybody that is in Calgary. We're going to be doing tomorrow yoga in the park celebration of the new moon. We'll go deeper into these topics. I'll take you through a meditation. We're going to do some journaling. We're going to get really down to work with this. So if you haven't ever explored your inner child connection, that's what we're going to do. And you're going to go with your journal prompt answers, and which is very valuable for this kind of work, for this exploration of your truth, of your authenticity, of what you're here really to do, what really moves you, what you're really passionate about. which is something that I am really passionate about. So I really hope to see some of you there. I know some of you will be there. So yeah. There's a lot of information in the feed for you to go check the event and stuff and get your tickets. It's also going to be 420 friendly, so we're going to have optional infused honey beverages. So a beverage with, if you want to, you can use the honey. And we're going to do yin yoga, and it'll be beautiful. It's the most sunny, beautiful day in Calgary tomorrow. So really excited about that. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to close it right now. So I'm wishing you all the best new moon, and yeah, don't let go. Like, don't let go of your truth. And yeah, if it feels challenging, it is what it is. It is what it is. And there's always a reason. There's always a reason why we feel challenged in a specific way. So it only makes you stronger in the end. So much love. Happy new moon, and I'll see you guys around.